Holiwood Nights is arguably the coaster enthusiast event of the year. Maybe CoasterCon, but I guess that's up for debate. It's held at Holiday World in Santa Claus, Indiana, the last weekend of May. But since this is 2020, it got pushed to the last weekend of August, and it seemed like everyone came out of the woodwork to experience it. This was my first experience at Holiwood Nights. I got there around noon, thinking that I would have plenty of time to ride everything during the day and then during ERT. I was wrong. It took over 30 minutes to get through security and into the park. I've been to Holiday World a few times in the past, and I've never seen it even close to this crowded. They're using a virtual queue this year, which you sign up for by visiting their website and punching in the 6-digit code from your wristband. You can see the rides on your phone and pick which one you want to ride, and it'll tell you how long until you can get into the queue. Once your time is up, you have 15 minutes to get your wristband scanned and get into the line. It's a great system to cut down on people crowding into the queue lines and allows everyone to do other things while waiting to ride. All of the rides were 90 minutes to 2-hour waits, which is pretty crazy. And it didn't help that Raven and Legend had one train going. I was actually only able to get a ride on Raven and Voyage before the park closed. One of the great things about Holiwood Nights is the backstage walkback that you get on Voyage and Thunderbird. Be aware that you do need to set a reservation to join the walkback through a different website. I didn't know that, but thanks to Cliff from Analog Thrills for letting me know. These are some incredible angles of these two coasters that you can't get anywhere else, and it's great for photographers and vloggers. The park also fed us a couple times during the day, loaded tater tots in the afternoon and burgers before ERT. And of course, drinks are always free for everyone. Once ERT started, they put a second train on Raven and Legend, and the enthusiasts took over the park. Normally I hear that you can get tons of rides on everything, but this year seemed to be different with the massive crowds. Raven and Legend were quick at first, but even Legend's line filled up, Thunderbird's line stretched to the entrance, and the Voyage line went all the way to the Thanksgiving sign. So I walked out of the park with a total of 2 rides on Raven, 1 on Legend, 1 on Thunderbird, and 2 on Voyage. It had been 2 years since I'd ridden these, and I walked out of there with a different opinion on all of them. Let's start with the Raven. This coaster keeps dropping on my list, but I thought it was super strong this time. It's now the roughest wooden coaster in the park, which is a shocking statement coming from me, given how I feel about the Legend. And that transition before the turn over the lake is absolutely brutal. I always end up stapled on this, but the layout is really solid and has some awesome airtime moments, and it's relentless. Both of my rides were in the back, one during the day and one during ERT, and both were about the same. Legend has always been either boring or painful for me over the last 18 years, but this time it was neither. It was actually amazing. It used to jackhammer the teeth right out of my head in a few spots, but there was none of that. Dare I say, it was actually smooth. The ride was hauling, and even had some good airtime moments, including an awesome ejector drop about halfway through the ride. It also has so much speed going into the brakes. All of the wooden coasters here are so relentless with the out-of-control feeling and the intensity. That one ride during ERT made me say something that I've never said before. I need to re-ride the Legend. It's too bad that when we came back, the line was to the entrance, so we had to pass. But Legend is getting a huge bump in my rankings, and is no longer the worst CCI that I've ridden. Sorry Pegasus, that's all you now. Thunderbird is by far the best wing coaster in the US, and I was able to get on during ERT. The launch is great, but I wasn't really feeling the rest of it this time. I was in row 2, which probably wasn't as forceful as the back. This was the most disappointing ride of the day, but by no means was it bad. I just remember being more impressed with it. It's too bad I only gave it 1 ride this time. Okay, now for the main draw. The reason people flock to Holiwood Nights, one of the great wooden coasters ever built, the Voyage. In the past, I've raved about its layout, but I said it loses points for being rough and having weak airtime. That all changed on these 2 rides. My daytime ride was in the back row, and I thought the ride was running as well as it ever has. The airtime was actually strong, and there was no hint of roughness or pain anywhere. We rolled into the mid-course and I felt the train slow down, and all I can think about is that how in a few hours, those would be off and we would fly through that section. After waiting 45 minutes, we made this the last ride of our night. I got to do this with Airtime Mike, who lives for the Voyage and Holiwood Nights, and we were in the second to last car. Night rides already make the ride feel like it's going faster, but it actually was going faster, which added to the insanity. Flying through the woods in the dark in the first half was wild enough, but when we went flying through the mid-course without slowing down and went into the triple down, things got a little crazy. I could not believe the speed in the second half, as it was just barreling back to the station.
What's going on here? My brakes are out.
The airtime, the laterals, the lateral airtime, it was just stupid. It was everything I could have hoped for and more. Here was my real-time reaction courtesy of Airtime Mike.
Alright, so Eric, you just got off your first showless night ride there. What did you think?
I have a new religion. Voyage night rides. And I will start at church for the Voyage night rides starting tomorrow on the 7th. Not blasphemous, in fact religious. This is what it is. It's the Holiwood Nights and ride this at night. Turnless.
So the question is, how do I judge the Voyage? I like to rank coasters at the best potential in the best seat. But do I judge Voyage for the way it runs 99.9% of the year, or how it runs 0.1% of the year? Sound off in the comments below. I'll have to decide how far to bump this up in my top 20, and you'll have to wait and see where it ends up in my top 50 when I release that in December. So thanks to Holiday World for putting on this event. I love how the park and the employees are so accommodating to enthusiasts, running the Voyage in a way that would normally tear the track apart if it was done every day, and having the ops ask where we want to sit, because they know that the row is really important to us coaster nerds. The turnout was huge, and hopefully it was profitable for the park. Also, thanks to everyone who came up to say hi and get a selfie and share your kind words. I really appreciate all of your support for the channel. That's all I have for my first trip to Holiwood Nights. If you were able to make it out this year or in years past, let me know about your experience, and if you share my thoughts on the rides or completely disagree. My opinions have changed so much, and I want to make sure that I'm not going crazy. Also, if you like this video, please drop it a like, and subscribe if you're new here, and I'll see you guys all next time.